Welcome to the Navy SEAL Mindset. This is episode 023. My name is William Branham. I am your host. I am a 26-year Navy SEAL retired. I spent 23 of my 26 years in the SEAL teams. If you're new here, I was also a sniper instructor. I am now we'll call it an entrepreneur, where I speak internationally talking about the Navy SEAL mindset. I have a CBD supplements company, which I will talk in other episodes about being sued by another supplements company who claim that I am infringing on their trademark. The name of my company is Naked Warrior Recovery. The Naked Warrior is the predecessor of today's Navy SEAL, so that is my defense. And I didn't steal any of their trademarks. But anyway, I'm not bitter. I'm excited about sharing a lot of that stuff with you. What else? I do business leadership coaching. We do some offsites where we go to a place called Black Site Ranch, where we run obstacle courses, we run through the kill house, we learn how to fight, we learn how to shoot, we learn how to do a lot of cool stuff. And then I take all of those skills that you learn and apply that to business. I apply it to leadership and things like that. Again, it's all about the Navy SEAL mindset and how you can take the lessons that I learned from 26 years serving this country and apply this all into your daily life. And what I want to talk about today is to focus on what you want and stop focusing on what you don't want. And I'll just start off with a story. So there was a time when we were in the SEAL teams, we got tasked about 4 months out from our 6-month deployment, and we were tasked to protect the interim government of Iraq. And because we got that mission, there's a lot of different skill sets that are not regular Navy SEAL skill sets that we had to go and learn. So we went and paid a bunch of money to hire coaches to teach us how to protect the interim government. Part of that training was high-speed driving, where we crashed into one another, we made cars go out of control, we evaded bad guys, we shot paint rounds at one another. It was a lot of fun. But one of the things that they showed us when we first started the high-speed driving portion was, and I'll talk a little bit more about some of the fun stuff that we did during that course, or the courses that we went to. The very first one that we went to, right away they showed us a video, and they showed us all of these pictures of cars, single car accident where the car lost control for one reason or another. Maybe it was a drunk driver, who knows. And these cars, there were hundreds of them that they showed us. They hit a random lone tree in the middle of a field that was off the road. So basically the car was driving along, it lost control for one reason or another, and it went into a field and it hit a lone tree. The field was gigantic, and there were hundreds of these pictures that they showed us. And the moral of the story was, the driver 100% of the time saw the tree. They focused on the tree. And at some point they got control of the car again. And then they ended up driving directly into that tree because that's what they were focusing on. And what they taught us is that they said, when you see danger, you actually look away from the danger in the direction that you want to go. And I had never really put that together. And then I heard it later on when I was doing some mountain biking, and a guy was talking about when you're going across like these really weird obstacles or driving across a down tree, like horizontal, like along the trunk of it, or railroad ties, or a 2x4, you focus on where you want to go. You focus on where you want that front tire to go. Same thing on a motorcycle, off-road. You focus on where you want that front tire to go, and that's where the motorcycle will go. That's where the mountain bike will go. That's where the car will go. That's where you will go in your life. Why am I telling you this? Oftentimes in life, and I have been guilty of this as well, we focus on the wrong thing. We focus on what we don't want to happen in our life. We don't want to lose the relationship. We don't want to lose our job. We don't want to lose whatever it is. We're focusing on the wrong thing. We're not focusing on the thing that we want to achieve. So before I became a Navy SEAL, I ran into a lot of obstacles, and that prevented me from going to SEAL training right away. And my focus was to become a Navy SEAL. And so it could have been very demoralizing that every time I made a decision, it was the wrong decision. And then I eventually ended up on a ship in Yokosuka, Japan, because I made some tactical errors, and I spent 2 years on that ship. And then when it was time for me to leave the ship and go to another duty station, the guy who was in charge of sending me to the next duty station, I told him that I wanted to go become a Navy SEAL, and he's like, that's great, but I'm not going to let you go because you're too critical to the Navy. And I told him that's not acceptable to me. And so I found a way to get to SEAL training. And then when I was in SEAL training, I got hurt 3 times. So that 6-month block of training took me 13 months to get through. They almost kicked me out. But because of my determination, my effort, and the fact that I cried like a little baby with big snot bubbles and the whole thing, begging them to keep me, I got to stay and eventually become a Navy SEAL and serve this country in that capacity. And now I get to share a lot of those lessons. So I was very focused about getting what I wanted in the Navy. I was very focused about becoming a Navy SEAL. Now, when I retired from the SEAL teams, I lost that focus because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I wanted to become. I felt like I lost my mission, my purpose, and my team overnight. And so I had to start figuring out, what do I want to do? Eventually, I started Naked Warrior Recovery, because our mission is 22-0. 22 veterans take their lives every single day. Our mission is to eliminate veteran suicide. That is my focus with Naked Warrior Recovery, the end. And help everyone else out. It takes time and money and effort to help end veteran suicide. And hopefully we get them all one day, but it's a lot of effort, a lot of time, and a lot of focus. I also do speaking all over the world. I do business leadership coaching, and like I said earlier, I run events, leadership development events at a place in California, at a private ranch. And those are the things that I focus on now. It took me a long time to figure out what it was that I wanted to do. But once I finally had that clarity and I had that clarity, I knew how to focus on it. So there's this thing in marksmanship, when you're shooting guns, it doesn't matter if you're shooting a pistol, a rifle, if it has iron sights, if it has a scope on it. Focus is the most important thing that you have to do. So if you're out of focus, you can't hit the target. If your scope is out of focus, your groups are going to be spread out. They're not going to be nice and tight, and all the impacts are touching one another. So when you're shooting iron sights, that's where you look down the back sight and then look at the blade that's in the front, and then you look at the target, and you line those things up. And when you're looking at the target, should actually be a little bit blurry. You know what it is. You know where it is, downrange. And the sight that is closest to your face should also be blurry. And the thing that should be the most clear is that front sight post, that front sight that you put on the target where you want it to hit. And so that you have to have crystal clear clarity, and you focus on your front sight. They say front sight focus for a reason. The same thing, again, applies to a scope. If you don't have the scope focused properly and the parallax dialed in, you're not going to hit the target as effectively as you could. So you have to focus on what you want. Oftentimes, so many times in life, and again, I'm telling you that I am just as guilty as anyone else, I focused on the things that I didn't want, or I focused on the wrong things. So it's important that we find clarity in what we're doing. When we go on missions in the SEAL teams, we know what the mission is. We know what the objectives are. We know what we're supposed to do when we get there, and how to get there, and how to lead, or how to leave. And we have very crystal clear focus on what we're going to do, our actions on the objective, because we've practiced those things over and over. And then we have we figure out what the mission is going to be. We brief the mission. We go practice the mission. Then we go execute the mission. We come back and we do an after action review. We can't do that if we don't have focus. So I was reading a book recently by Napoleon Hill called Law of Success. Napoleon Hill, I think he's most known for Think and Grow Rich, but Law of Success is far better than Think and Grow Rich, if you ask me. He also wrote a book called Outwitting the Devil. A phenomenal book written back in 1910 or something like that. If you read it, or if you listen, it's awesome to listen to, because it's Napoleon Hill having an interview with the devil. And the devil's voice is this gruff sort of voice. And so it's very cool to listen to. But if you listen to that or read it, however you do it, the things that he talks about, drifting through life and all these other things, you would think that it's happening today, that it was written today. Just like, it's incredible how things never really change unless you focus your effort. One of the things that he talks about in Outwitting the Devil is people who are drifting in life. The devil says, if they are drifting, I can control them because they have no focus. So it's important to focus on what you want and put all of your effort into the thing that you want, not into the things that you don't want. So I pulled up another quote from Napoleon Hill from Law of Success, and he says, success comes only when you act on what you know and believe. What your mind can conceive and believe, you can achieve. And I believe that 1,000%. If you focus on the right things, if you focus your mind on the thing that you want to achieve, you will achieve that successfully. I'm going to end right here and say, don't look at the tree. Look away from the tree. Look away from danger. Focus your attention on where you want to go, not where you don't want to go. When you focus on where you don't want to go, I don't want to hit that tree, but you keep looking at it, you're going to hit the tree. So look away from the tree. Look where you want to go and go there. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that other stuff. Leave a comment. Give me 5 stars if you think I deserved it. If you don't share the episode. I appreciate you. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube, yes, I have a new background. I got a lot of changes going on in my life, new move, and I'll talk about some of that stuff later. But anyway, hope you guys stay awesome. Don't forget to get naked, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace. Hey, this is William Branham, retired Navy SEAL, 26 years of service, and I have a free gift for you. Go to 5sealsecrets.com, the number 5, SEAL as in Navy SEAL, 5sealsecrets.com. Go download your free copy of these 5 SEAL secrets, and I'll give you a secret. The secret is naked. Naked is an acronym. Go over there and find out what it is. 5sealsecrets.com, totally free. All you got to do is give me your name and email so I can send that to you, and it's all yours. Then you can start learning how to think like a Navy SEAL. Talk to you guys soon.